welcome back to the final part of the Book One Cozies Club chapter by chapter for Still Knife Painting, the first book in the Paint and Shine mystery series by Cheryl Hollon. I'm Di, and this is my audio-only reading vlog for this book. Today I will be reading chapters 32 through 36 and sharing my thoughts with you along the way. Due to the nature of this reading vlog, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't read these chapters yet, I suggest that you not listen to this recording until you have. If you would prefer to hear my general thoughts on this book in its entirety, keep an eye out for my Book One Cozies Club series First Impressions video, which will be posted sometime after the reading vlogs for this book have commenced. So how is everybody doing this evening? I am doing well. It is mighty hot tonight, and so that doesn't make me very happy, but I am very excited to finally finish this book and see what the motive was, who the killer is. I presume that everything's gonna come out in these last 4 chapters, seeing that we're wrapping up the story, so the momentum should be high. I think after last night's chapters, at least I kind of have a feeling of what's coming up, at least in regards to Mrs. Childer's past. Is it Childers or Childers? I know I've said it both ways during these recordings, but I think I lean more towards Childers. But anyway, I think I can foresee what happened in her past, and so maybe it's the result of that is why there was a confrontation. So no more speculating about it right now. I am going to dive into chapter 32 and find out exactly what happened. Since the momentum should be high, I don't think I will be back with you until I finish the book, and so I'll talk to you then. So I just finished the book. I think things went how I expected them to go. That whole bit with the Lexington detective and his detectives posse group of police officers that came with him, that was ridiculous how they reacted to that. And then the way that they kind of resolved it, none of that felt realistic. It just seems so out there. Like, literally the only evidence he had was that her fingerprints were on the knife, which is plausible because it's hers. She had an argument with the victim, which, okay, that's true too. And it was at her house. Like, I don't know. That whole thing baffled me. I didn't know how that was gonna get resolved, and then the way it was very quick, and I don't know. It just felt unbelievable to me. Again, towards the end, there were inconsistencies. At least in my copy, I don't know what it looks like in the printed version, but in the last few chapters, they kept referring to Mrs. Childers as Viola Childers, and she was Naomi the whole time through the book, except those 2 instances, I think. And even if you go through the cast of characters in the back, she's listed as Naomi Childers. So I don't know where the Viola Childers came from. That definitely should have been picked up during editing. But it's just one more of those things that kind of got on my nerves, because it's like, wait a minute, that's not her name. And the inconsistencies in this story really broke up the feel of the story, or the smoothness. It made it more choppy. I was constantly stopping and rereading sections because I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. And going back and referring to things. I mean, you heard me go through that in earlier episodes of chapter by chapter for this, and here at the end, there was still another one, and I was just like, very disappointed. But the mystery portion was definitely believable. I definitely think that the explanation for what happened was plausible. Now, we don't exactly know for sure what happened because, even when they were talking about the events leading up to the death, there wasn't a lot of detail. So I guess you're safe to figure out for yourself if you think it was actually accidental or if it was intentional. I think there's a good possibility it was accidental. I wish I understood why Mrs. Childers got so mad about the situation, because there's not a lot of information on that either. So that portion of it made me a bit confused as well. But I think you can pretty much tell just from listening to even just this section of chapter by chapter, even if you hadn't listened to the previous ones, you can probably tell that this particular series is not going to be one for me. I did have a chance to look through the recipes that were in the back and was pleasantly surprised to see several of the things that were mentioned in the book. The potato pinwheels definitely weren't what I thought they were. For some reason, I had thought that they were made with potato chips, but it ended up being mashed potatoes, and now I'm like kind of curious, but kind of not, because that doesn't sound like it would taste good to me, but you never know unless you try. But yeah, unfortunately, this particular series is not going to be one for me. There was a sampler in the back of my copy for her glass blower mystery series, glass shop mystery series. It's a different series. I didn't read the blurb because it's the final installment. I believe that's what it said, so I didn't want to spoil myself on it. But I think a good portion of what bothered me in this particular book was our main character, our amateur sleuth, and how she acted. So I think that if I try another series by this author, that might work out better for me. If you've read another one of the author's series, I don't know if she has more than just the two, but if you've read something else from her, let me know what you thought of it, or if you think that series might work better for me, because a great deal of what I disliked about this story was Miranda and how she acted. The rest of the things outside of Miranda as a person and her reacting to things, I enjoyed. I especially enjoyed the sections where it was the sheriff talking to his wife, and other things like that when Miranda wasn't like quote unquote investigating, when she was just having normal conversations. I enjoyed that as well. But unfortunately, because our main character is so much of an importance to the story, she's the person that's actively investigating. She's the person that we see the most in this story. I just can't get behind this one. So I do think it was a good story. I just won't be continuing with this series. So now that we've finished that, before I let you go, I do want to let you know what the August book will be. I pulled this one out of the Book One Cozies Club jar, and the selection is Poison Pen, the first book in the Forensic Handwriting Mystery series by Sheila Lowe. This is an older cozy mystery. I happen to have a physical copy of this one on my shelf, but I did see that it was recently, I believe it was February of this year, 2021, recently released an ebook copy for Nook and Kindle. I could not find it on Hoopla, But the Kindle and Nook price as of the time that I am recording this chapter by chapter was only $2.99. So if you are interested in jumping in on Poison Pen in August, that would be one way for you to do that if you do not have a physical copy. But definitely check your libraries and see if they have a physical copy available to borrow as well. August is actually the 5-year anniversary of Book One Cozy's Club. I cannot believe Book One Cozy's Club has been going on that long. It doesn't seem like it's been that many years, but it is the 5-year anniversary. So I am looking forward to reading Poison Pen and finding out what goes into forensic handwriting analysis. That sounds interesting to me. And so that will do it for me this evening. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Still Knife Painting. What did you think of these last few chapters? Did you find the mystery portion plausible? Did you know who the culprit was before it was revealed? And also let me know if you've read another book by this author from a different series, and if you think that I would enjoy that better, because I would definitely give this author another try, just not the next book in this series. So that will be it for me. Thank you so much for spending time with me and reading along with me for July's Book One Cozy's Club selection. I will be back with you in August for chapter by chapters on Poison Pen. And I hope you're all having a great evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.